All right, it's Saturday, August 30th. Time for a quick update. Did a little wiring today, so let me show you that. Down here, I put together like a 3-gang outlet, which is basically just drawing power from this one wire coming into the building. This is basically the only power coming in. So that feeds these 3 outlets. And then this wire here basically comes up to this switch gang box. And these are 2 switches for these 2 lights. So the first one, as you come in the door, is for the first light. And the second one is for the second light. So yeah, eventually I'm going to put the third light on there, but for now I think the switch back there will do just fine. Yeah, I just want to see how everything shakes out in terms of how I'm going to run electric. So yeah, I'll just leave that for now and get to it a little later. It's fine. Well, that's it really for today. I did a couple other things around the house, but yeah, it's a quick update for Saturday, August 30th. Talk to you later. It is August 31st, 2025, end of day, Sunday, and time for an update. Let me turn on the lights. So nice to have switches to turn lights on. A lot better than having to bend down and plug in an extension cord. So today, let me flip this around. I got all of the 2x4s for this second rolling storage unit screwed together. This is the base, that's the top shelf here. And these are the uprights, there, and there. Got them all screwed together, as well as the second one of this other storage unit. Let me back this out a little. Yeah, so it's top shelf, middle shelf, bottom shelf, and then the uprights. That's about all I got done today. You might go, well, geez, that sounds like an easy job. You got all these 2x4s cut, just lay them out on the floor and screw them together, right? Yeah, about a half an hour. That's all it should take. I agree. It sounds like an easy job, but boy, I'll tell you, it's not simple. I mean, even if you lay them down on a flat concrete surface like this, flat concrete surface is really not how I would describe this. There are a lot of waves and bumps in here. I mean, you can't really see it on camera, but when you get down on the floor and you lay these 2x4s out, you can really tell that there's waves and divots in the floor. And the 2x4s themselves, they're not always exactly the same width. I mean, they vary a little bit. They also have curves and twists in them. Some of them have sharp corners where they were cut. Some are rounded. And even when you get it all set up and you screw them together, I was actually pre-drilling them. If you don't do that, the screws, if they hit the grain of the wood, it will send it off by even maybe a 1/16 of an inch. And I'm trying to get, a reasonably good fit for these things. I mean, I know they're just shelving units, but I like to try and get things as accurate as possible. So, yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of effort. And actually, I felt pretty lucky today because I only had to probably back out and reset about maybe 7 or 8 of them that I had screwed in that just weren't quite right. And I wanted a nice flat surface to be able to put that 1/2-inch plywood down on top of. So yeah, it took me most of the day to do that. And I did a little cleanup around here. So that's pretty much it for Sunday. And I'll be back to work on this again on Monday. Talk to you then. Alrighty, it is Monday, September 1st, and time for at least a little mini update. So I was working down in the Quonset hut this morning assembling some of those storage shelf cart things. And then I came up to the little shed, storage shed, and I was just kind of surveying what I need to get done. And this really caught my attention. Let me take you inside. So I'm walking in here, right? And I'm just kind of noticing, back this out, what has to get done. Like, I got to really clean out in here, maybe use the power washer and just clean the walls real quick. And then I got to do some spray foam along this edge here because there's literally opening to the outside. So that's got to be sealed off. And the same thing, like I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see some light coming through there, and you may not be able to see it. Well, yeah, you can. Okay, so you can see light coming through there. So I'm going to just do a foam thing along this edge here on each corner. But I got up on the ladder, right, and I was just curious. All right, I can't get too close here. But I put my hand on this piece of metal, and that's the one that I had covered this hole with, and I put the acrylic paint on it, which is that southern peach, kind of a light color, and it's warm, slightly warm. It's about 11 o'clock here, and it's sunny, but it's a nice day. There's a little bit of a breeze. But then I put my hand over here on this part of the metal, and it is almost too hot to hold my hand on. Ooh, yeah, okay. So I can hold it there for maybe about 3 seconds, and then I gotta take it off. So painting it, as I kind of suspected, probably does reflect a lot of sunlight and keep things cooler. So I just thought that was really interesting. Anyway, yeah, I'm just surveying in here. Probably gonna try and do Bondo tomorrow morning because it's probably a little too hot to do it up there on the roof now. So it's dry. It's gonna be dry tomorrow. So I get up early and do the Bondo up there. And then, yeah, I got some more cleaning to do in here and some other things. Like some of this wood here is kind of nasty looking. I have a wood cleaner. I probably could just mix up some bleach and water and it would do the same thing. But I'll give the wood cleaner product a try and just see how it works. But it's supposed to brighten up wood and make it look new again. Because I don't know what the hell all this is. It's probably like roach poop or something on there. Who knows? But yeah, it looks pretty nasty. Anyway, yeah, I got some more work to do in here. And yeah, that's it for the mini update. All right, Tuesday, September 2nd. And I'm just checking out how the wood brightener worked in the little storage shed. And I'm not that impressed. I hit this corner pretty well. Sorry, it's a little dark in here. Can't really see too much. And yeah, it did whiten the wood a bit. I also did it a little bit in one of the dark corners of the Quonset hut, and it did even less. So I'm going to try my own formulation. By the way, this wood brightener, it's bleach. I mean, as soon as I started spraying it, I could smell it, and it's bleach. So it's basically a way for them to charge you a lot of money for bleach, which you can buy at Walmart by the gallon or half gallon for pretty darn cheap. So I have a sprayer that I've mixed up. I'd say, well, it started out as 50-50 water and bleach, but then I added just a little bit more bleach. This is like maybe 55% bleach, 45% water. So I'm going to spray it on here in the corners and see what it does, as well as in the Quonset hut. And then I will report back the results. I have a feeling this will do a better job than the wood brightener. Anyway, the wood brightener bottle is down in the Quonset hut. I will let you know what brand that is when I get down there and report the results later. So, okay, talk to you later. All right, well, it's still Tuesday, September 2nd, and I wanted to come back at the end of the day, take a look at this little corner of the Quonset hut where I applied my 55-45% bleach and water to this wood, and whoo, big difference. I mean, I can tell, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but there is just a huge difference in the color of the wood. It's still a little dark in areas. It might just still be wet, I'm not sure. But yeah, there's a big difference. Especially if you look there and then you kind of go up to here, you can see right here it gets dark. So I applied the bleach all the way down to here and boom, it gets dark. So yeah, it has definitely lightened it up. I might do another coat of it, just brighten it up a little more along the bottom there. But yeah, I think it did a much better job than the store-bought wood cleaner. Sorry about that, but before I go up to the storage shed, I just wanted to show that I got these 4 rolling shelf units complete. So yeah, they took a little bit more time than I had anticipated, but yeah, I think they're ready for the shelving material, whether it be 1/2-inch plywood or MDF. You can see I've got some, MDF here. That would be fine if I can get it cheap, or if not, plywood will work. And I intend to make probably one more like this and one more like this, and then that should pretty much wrap up these cart units. And I am going to still continue to work on these rolling shelves. I haven't gotten back to that yet, but I did get the next platform done. So yeah, this will get moved to there. But I don't want to do it until I have some sort of material I can put down on these things, because yeah, it's just a pain to put stuff on there without a flat surface. And then, if I only have 4, I got to take 2 shelves off and, set them on the floor or do something. Right now, I just have stuff laying on the floor. So I don't really want to do that any more than I have to. So once I get some material to put there, this stuff can go back on shelves, and then I can put this shelf unit on that, and maybe build a third one and take the extra shelf units and put it on the third one. So, all right, let's go up to the shed and take a look at that. All right, the shed, what's going on here? Well, today I power washed the entire inside of this building from top to bottom. Here's the corners that I applied the 55% chlorine and 45% water, so it's looking pretty good. But I power washed everything from top to bottom, inside here, ceiling, walls, 2x4s, floor, you name it. It's been power washed. I may actually do it again, I'm not sure. I'm gonna sweep it out tomorrow morning when it dries, and then decide if I want to do one more quick power wash inside here before I start sealing up some of the cracks with the spray foam. Like I'm going to put the spray foam in between here. You can see the daylight, and then up there, I think I mentioned this before, but yeah, all along here and all along there will get spray foamed, and also up in here all the way along this roof ridge needs to have spray foam to just seal it off completely. So yep, that was a good job done, but let's take a look at the roof. I have not done any more on that patch. I do have some different washers that I'm going to use there. They have like a rubber washer that seals against the aluminum instead of the fender washers. So I'm going to give them a try. I don't know. We'll see how it works. Supposedly they seal up and will prevent water from going in here. But today I power washed the entire roof. So it looks a million times better. And at this point, if I wanted to, I could probably paint it. It's definitely clean enough to take some paint. Although I'm not sure, well, I really don't know. I'll have to maybe do a little test to see how the paint sticks to it. I mean, I think that plate there is aluminum and it's stuck to that pretty well. So I'm assuming, but I don't know, if this will take some paint or not. It's definitely clean enough now. So yeah, I'll give it a try, and maybe I'll just make it the same color, that summer peach. Then it'll be all the same color. I still have the sides to do. I'm going to hold this over on the side. So yeah, that and this, you can see how dirty it is. I mean, look how black that is. What a difference, huh? Sorry about that. I hit the stop button by accident. But tomorrow morning I'll finish these little side roofs, get them cleaned off, and that'll pretty much take care of this, except for putting those final screws on there and then doing the Bondo. So, okay, that's where I'm at. So as I mentioned, I did some power washing inside the storage shed today, and this is the power washer that I had ordered way back in April, and I finally got it up and running and decided to use it. And so far it's been a good machine. It's sure's got a lot of power, 3,300 psi, and it definitely takes dirt off, that's for damn sure. But the setup process was not exactly straightforward. Look for a rant against the manufacturer on this machine in an upcoming video. Yeah, I was not happy at first, but then when I finally solved my problem, yeah, it seems to be working fine now. But yeah, it was a very strange problem that I had. So yeah, I'll explain that in an upcoming video. But yeah, so if anyone's looking for a power washer, it's not a bad unit. It was, I think, a little less than 400 bucks, but ordered it on Amazon, and it came in about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. But it's been sitting in the Quonset hut for like 3 months now. So anyway, finally got it up and running, and it's a game changer. It really is. I mean, I got some other stuff to show you that I've power washed, and it's pretty amazing. So yeah, I'll get to that in a day or so. Thursday, September 4th, early afternoon. Time for a bit of an update. I'm losing track of where I left off because I got too many things going on. But I'm up at the little storage shed, and I'll show you what I've got going on here. So let me flip this around. Yesterday I cleaned off these little steeper portions of the roof with the power washer. So that turned out pretty darn well. I mean, they were black. I don't know what makes them black, but yeah, they were nasty. So over here, that's all cleaned off. Although there is a little bit of staining in some areas of it that even the power washer isn't taking off, but it doesn't really matter. I may even just paint it, so that'll get rid of that. All right, so let's go up to the roof. And I can see already, I mean, just after power washing, it's like a little bit of black little granules or something. That's probably what's making it black. It's probably coming from the trees. But yeah, I think if I just regularly give it a quick power wash, it'll keep it clean. And if I paint it, it should actually make it last even longer. So let's go up here. I have replaced all of the previous stainless steel screws with the big fender washers with the new stainless steel screws, and the small washers with the rubber grommets or things on the bottom. So here's an example of one. These didn't come like this. These little washers here, I bought a box of separately and a box of these stainless steel screws separately, and then I just screwed the washer onto the screw to get it ready to put in. So I added a few more. You can see it's pretty well battened down here all the way around. And then I started to do some Bondo along the side and along this critical edge over here. Oops, sorry for the finger. Sorry about that, I pushed the wrong button and turned it off. But yeah, this is the beginnings of the Bondo of this top edge here. It looks pretty terrible right now, but I'll grind it down a little bit and smooth this out. This was just the first pass to get things filled in. I mean, you got a big gaping hole where these ridges are, so it took a lot to fill that in. But it'll get better as I start to slope this down and fill it in a bit more. And I still have the other side to do and the rest of this side, but it's getting there. And I also replaced screws on the roof here. Here's an example of one right there and there. They had screws coming up from the bottom and sticking out like that much, which was a complete hazard for anyone on the roof. I mean, you could have tripped on it or fallen on it and poked yourself with it. So I took them out from the bottom and then put new ones in with these little washers from the top. All right, well, that's about it for the small shed. Let's go down to the Quonset hut and talk about that. All right, I am down here in the Quonset hut, and I cut all of these 2x4s here the other day. It's like 2 days ago, I think. These will make, everything that sits in here will make a second one of these rolling 8-foot wide storage carts. And then I started cutting some more 2x4s, this pile here and up there. They were actually going to be the beginnings of the shelves for the small storage shed up top. That's only about maybe a third of it, or actually less, because this is really only dealing with the one side that faces the field. That'll have one shelf along it, the full length, that's 3 foot wide. So this doesn't even cover that yet. So I'm gonna have to get some more 2x4s. You can see my the huge pile that I had here has dwindled down to almost nothing. So yeah, I got to make a trip to get more 2x4s. All right, and then let's go around to the back. Did this the other day. This was the day that I actually got my power washer up and running. I still have to rant about that. But after I did get it up and running, I wanted to test it. And I thought, okay, let's see how well it does compared to 1, hand scrubbing, and 2, using the what is it, the Craftsman power washer with the spinning brush on the end. So this is what I got done. You can see that all was done in about 25 minutes. This side, this was the one that was done with the scrubber wheel, the Craftsman power washer. And when I did these with the power washer, it was actually better than the Craftsman scrubber wheel. And then I went over this with the power washer, and it cleaned up the spots that the scrubber missed. So if you compare this to the other side, which took almost an entire 5 days, I maybe spent half my day doing hand scrubbing all the way along each day. So a total of, say, 2.5 days, as compared to this, which was done in half an hour. So the power washer is a huge game changer in terms of getting things done a lot faster. And what really made me happy, and I can't stress this enough, look at the concrete. I also power washed the concrete, even along the bottom edge here. It looks great. I mean, I don't think I even could do as well if I used the concrete cleaner. Let me come from this angle. And scrubbed it with the wire brush, which is what I did on the northern face to get it looking half decent. But this was like 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do that. And look at the difference. This is unwashed, this is washed. Huge, huge difference. So yeah, that made me extremely happy. So I will get back to this probably tomorrow. I'll get the rest of this concrete done, and get the rest of this Bondo done, tomorrow and Saturday, as long as we have good weather, because I really want to wrap this up. And now that I have the power washer and I know what it can do, wow, just like I said, it's a game changer. So yeah, that's about it for now. And I will see you in the next one. All right, as promised, I would show you the wood cleaner product that I was using to brighten up some of the studs in both the small storage shed and in the Quonset hut. And this is it. This is made by Cabot. It's called Wood Cleaner, and I'm not that impressed with the results. Yes, like I said, it did brighten the wood a little bit, but it's really not that dramatic at all. And I don't know about you, but I can barely read that. Yeah, I mean, you really almost need a magnifying glass for that. Let me zoom in on it. And if you want to pause and read it, you're welcome to. if you even can read it. And then down here we have, let's see, ingredients. There you go. Sodium hypochlorite and sodium hydroxide. Well, sodium hypochlorite is the exact same thing as the bleach that you buy at Walmart or your grocery store in those bottles by the half gallon or gallon. It's just a slightly, weaker solution of chlorine, but that's what it is. It's sodium hypochlorite. Where do we go here? Ingredients. There you go. Let me zoom in again. And then sodium hydroxide. That's the generic name is lye, but it's basically drain cleaner. So I don't know why they think that sodium hydroxide will help to brighten wood. Maybe it does. It's basically a very strong base, opposite of an acid, and it'll degrade or all kinds of biological materials like skin and hair and I guess wood as well. So yeah, those are the two ingredients. And I mean, like I said, I knew it contained bleach because I could smell it. It had the classic bleach odor to it. But anyway, I don't recommend it. In my opinion, this is way too expensive for what it contains. And just mix up 50-50 bleach and water. Will do the same thing, work better. It's like 1/5 the cost, and yeah, much better to just use bleach. So, okay, that's all I wanted to say on that. All right, Thursday, September 4th, end of day update. Real quick, let's take a look. I'm at the small storage shed. Let's go inside. It's getting a little dark, sorry about that. But I started doing some spray foam along here. So I got, back this out a bit here. Yeah, this is the far right corner there. So I got that done. I still have to do the bottom, but I was just working my way around. So all of this up at the top, all the way up here, that's all done down to the bottom here. Then I started over here on this side, got this whole top section done all the way over to here, and that's where I ran out. That took 3 cans to do that much. So I'm going to need probably another 3 to do, all along the ridge here, a ridge over here, this corner, that corner, and the remainder of this corner, and maybe some other little places like around the windows. But yeah, I'm probably going to need 3 to 4 more cans just to give you an idea of how much 1 can of the spray foam, it's called Great Stuff. I'm sure you've seen it in Lowe's or Home Depot. That's about how much 3 cans will do. So let's go up on the roof. Take a look at that. I've done some more Bondo work. I'm going to let this cure for probably 24 hours before sanding it. Probably going to bring the Dremel up because it's really hard to sand something like this until it gets at least a little bit flatter. I'm really just going to take off the high spots with the Dremel, and then I can sand just by hand. And then it makes it easier to put a final coat on and just make it nice and smooth. So I've got this side done. I've got that side pretty much done. And I've got at least 2 coats on this side here try to get you a good picture of that. It looks pretty bad, but again, once I hit it with the Dremel and sand a little bit, I'll do a final smooth coat to just swoop it down towards the outside of the roof, and that should pretty much be the end of that. And I'll probably, you can see some of the spray foams coming out the side there. I got to do spray foam underneath here as well. So it's really easy. The spray foam went like, I did it in like 10 minutes. So that was one of the easiest jobs I've done in a long time. All right, well, I think that's about it for today. And tomorrow I'm going into town. I need 2x4s, some more spray foam. What else do I need a little bit more gasoline for my power washer. And I don't know, I got some other things. Oh, I need some electrical things for the Quonset hut, and I can't remember anymore, but I have it written down. I have a book. I keep written down the things that I need. Anyway, so I'll do an update tomorrow, Friday, and wrap up the week. Talk to you later. All right, Friday, September 5th. Time to wrap up the week. I was in town today. Boy, that takes a long time to drive there, go to every place I need to go to, drive back, and put everything away either in the house or in the Quonset hut, and prepare to do some things around here. But anyway, yeah, that took up a good chunk of my day. But since we have had good dry weather, and I think we may be getting some rain tomorrow, I took advantage of that and tried to finish up as much of this Bondo on the southern side as I could. So let me flip around. So let's back it out a little. Yeah, there we go. So I had done, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I had done 6. And then today I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9. So that leaves me with 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 5 more. So if we get good weather again tomorrow, I don't know if that'll happen or not. I'll finish this second coat of Bondo on the southern side, and then I can finish power washing the concrete. And maybe if we do get some bad weather, rainy weather, I can just be out here power washing, and it doesn't matter if I get wet or not, because when you power wash, you get backsplash and dirt flying all over you. So, you know, it's a nasty job, but if it's raining, who cares? I mean, you're wet either way. So that's pretty much it for the week. I did get some more spray foam for the small shed, so I can finish up in there with the spray foam. And I got some caulk to do around the floor, between the pieces of plywood and also between the metal sheathing and the studs at the bottom. I can't really see any light in between those, but I'm just going to give them a coat of caulk anyway, just to be thorough. And then I have more 2x4s that I picked up today, and I can start putting the shelves in here on the far side. So not the side with this door, but the far side as you go in from the door. So that'll get one shelf all the way. Let's see if I can, I don't know. Yeah, one shelf all the way along here at about 3.5 feet on the far side. And then there'll be shelves on the close side too. There'll be actually 2 shelves each, and they'll only be about 2.5 feet. And there'll be 2 shelves, one at like 3 foot and another one at like 4.5 feet. So that's the plan for shelving in the small shed. And that's about it for the week. So I will see you next week. I hope I got some good updates for you. Bye-bye.